ever wondered how the promotional guidelines of the Ultimate Fighting Championship, specifically UFC 30, were formed and how they've evolved over time? Well, gear up as we delve into the fascinating world of one of the most prominent mixed martial arts organizations in the world. In the year 2000, the UFC was still in its infancy, and as such, the promotional guidelines were not as defined as they are today. UFC 30, titled Battle on the Boardwalk, was a pivotal event, marking the first UFC show under the new ownership of Zuffa, and the promotional guidelines played a significant role in shaping the future of the franchise. The promotional guidelines started off quite simple. The fighters were required to promote the event they were participating in, typically through interviews, press conferences, and public appearances. They were also expected to adhere to a certain level of professionalism, maintaining the respect and dignity of the sport. The goal was not only to market the event, but also to uphold the image of UFC as a legitimate and respected sporting organization. As the event drew closer, the guidelines became more specific. UFC started implementing rules about what fighters could wear during promotional events and fights. They were allowed to wear their own branded clothing, but it needed to be approved by UFC ahead of time. This was a step towards creating a more uniform and professional appearance across the board. Furthermore, fighters were encouraged to harness the power of social media to promote their fights. This was a forward-thinking move, considering social media was not as prevalent then as it is today. Then came the fight week, the culmination of all the promotional efforts. The fighters were required to participate in all scheduled media events, including open workouts, press conferences, and weigh-ins. They were also expected to be available for any last-minute media obligations. That's a brief rundown of the promotional guidelines during UFC 30. It might seem like a lot, but they were necessary to ensure the growth and success of the UFC. To summarize, the promotional guidelines of UFC 30 were all about maintaining professionalism, promoting the event effectively, adhering to dress codes, leveraging social media, and fulfilling media obligations during fight week. These guidelines have continued to evolve over the years, but their core principles remain the same: to uphold the integrity of the sport and ensure the UFC's continued success. This deep dive into the promotional guidelines of UFC 30 gives us a unique perspective on how the UFC has grown and evolved over the years. It's a testament to the strategic planning and foresight of the organization, and proof that behind every successful event, there's a set of well-thought-out guidelines, so the next time you watch a UFC fight, you'll have a better appreciation of what goes on behind the scenes to make it all happen.